I'm Hendrickson, researcher for concerned citizens of Renfrew County in the area. We work to prevent pollution from nuclear industry facilities in the Upper Ottawa Valley, such as the Chalk River Laboratories. Nuclear fuel contains uranium as U-235 and U-238. In a nuclear reactor, some uranium atoms hit by neutrons split into fission products while releasing more neutrons that sustain a chain reaction. The fission products emit much more intense radiation than uranium, so nuclear fuel becomes more and more radioactive the longer it stays in a reactor. Most uranium atoms in nuclear fuel are U-238. They tend to absorb neutrons and transform into heavier elements such as plutonium and neptunium. Reprocessing involves extracting plutonium from the fission products that emit most of the dangerous radiation. Plutonium can then be made into fresh fuel rods or weapons. However, this dangerous and messy process leaves behind highly radioactive liquid waste. The original purpose of Canada's Chalk River Laboratories was to produce plutonium for nuclear weapons. For 20 years or so, Canada contributed to the Cold War nuclear arms race by shipping reprocessed plutonium and plutonium-containing fuel for production of U.S. weapons. After fuel rods are dissolved in nitric acid, chemical reactions separate plutonium from the fission products. The resulting highly radioactive liquid waste can undergo explosive reactions. A December 1950 explosion in a facility used to concentrate fission product wastes killed one worker and injured 4 others. Accidents at this and other Chalk River reprocessing facilities have contaminated wetlands and streams flowing into the Ottawa River. A 1980 U.S. report based on Central Intelligence Agency information describes the worst ever plutonium reprocessing accident that occurred in 1957 at a Russian weapons production facility. Russian authorities tried to conceal this accident. A tank at the Mayak military facility containing fission products from reprocessing exploded, spreading radioactive fallout over hundreds of square kilometers, forcing the evacuation of thousands of people, killing hundreds, and leaving a large area permanently uninhabitable. The International Atomic Energy Agency describes a 1993 accident at another Russian reprocessing facility that spread radioactive material up to 28 kilometers. In 1996, the IAEA released a report reviewing 58 nuclear accidents, 37 of which involved reprocessing. In September 2017, a gigantic mysterious radioactive cloud swept across Europe, originating in the southern Urals in Russia. Russian authorities still deny responsibility, but studies of radioactive ruthenium found in the cloud show that it resulted from civilian reprocessing activities. The Hanford site in Washington State was the main facility for U.S. nuclear weapons plutonium production. Joshua Frank, author of the book Atomic Days, spoke at our January webinar. He described the extensive contamination at Hanford and the ongoing inability of the U.S. government to deal with hundreds of tanks of liquid reprocessing wastes, many of which have leaked. A civilian reprocessing facility in West Valley, New York, operated from 1966 to 1972 and produced over 2 million liters of liquid high-level waste. Around $100 million is spent annually to clean up West Valley with no end in sight. Former workers are plagued by cancers and have been paid over $200 million in compensation. In December 2022, construction began at Chalk River on a $1 billion taxpayer-funded facility for so-called advanced fuel research. Despite a history of accidents, deaths, and intractable environmental contamination from reprocessing, the nuclear industry clings to a dream of reactors fueled by plutonium. For Canada to ignore this history and support renewed plutonium reprocessing would be the height of irresponsibility.